Hey everybody, thanks for coming back. Today I want to talk to something I think is really important for you as a consumer about ready to buy your house or refinance that you're ready for. So today I just want to cover in just a few minutes the things that are most important to how to prepare for a loan application. And by that what I mean is basically have your ducks in a row so that when you present it to the loan officer, you're actually able to speak coherently as far as what things that you have and be able to explain those to the loan officer, show the loan officer that information so your loan application will go faster, your loan officer will be able to back you up more, and then with the underwriting group, they'll give you less conditions if you have everything up front, which means that you can close faster on buying your house. So let's go over the most important parts. Now, step one of the application has to do with you, who you are, and where you've been. So in that type, it's going to ask for your name, address, phone numbers, that type of information. But also, most importantly, it's going to ask for the complete 2 years worth of address information. And that includes if you've lived at 3 or 4 different places, we want to know chronologically where you've been at. And if you can just tell us exactly where you've been at and the time periods for that, then when we pull a credit report, it'll match up and then the underwriters won't have any questions. More importantly, too, is that you also have, as far as not only the addresses, but phone numbers for landlords and the amounts that you paid if you paid a monthly amount for your rent. Okay? Second thing, if you are actually buying another house and you own a current house, then what we want to see is basically the same thing, last 2 years of information, but we're also going to want to see the mortgage-backed statement for your last payment. So for the 30 days, then that will give us a history of what you pay. In addition, bring your property taxes and your insurance payment. Okay? So second thing, if you have a driver's license, we want a copy of your driver's license or your most recent ID. And that includes Social Security cards and a green card or passport, something that we can identify you with, okay? If it is a green card, we want to see both the front and the back, okay? Okay, income. Now, W-2s, if you're a W-2 employee, bring your W-2s, 2 years the most recent, and the most recent 30 days pay stubs. Those would really help us out. If you are employed, but let's say you're 1099, or if you're self-employed, we're going to want to see the last 2 years of tax returns. And those also, like I said, has to do with your self-employed, or if you have rentals, or if you have distributions you're using your income from IRAs, 401ks. Now, if you own your own business and it is not a sole proprietor, and let's say it's an LLC or a corporation or a subcorp, then we're going to want to see the business taxes for the last 2 years. Okay? In addition, we're going to see 1099s and maybe Social Security award letters if you are 1099, pension award letter if you get a pension from your previous business, Social Security award letters from the Social Security Department, and then if you're getting money from distributions from your IRA, then we want to see as far as a letter from your IRA distribution company that basically says how much money you're getting on a monthly basis for distributions. Now, one thing I did leave out of here, but is also important, is that right now, for example, it is April 2025. So if you are April 2025 and if you have business taxes, then we're generally want to see a year-to-date 2024 profit and loss statement for the entire year. And that doesn't have to be audited. So it does need to be something you write down, basically determining how much income that you received and how much as far as all your expenses were, and then that will give us the bottom line. And what we're looking for is that bottom line kind of coordinating with the tax returns from the previous 2 years to indicate either the profit of the company is staying the same or going up or going down. Hopefully it's staying the same or going up. All right, now some people have second jobs. Okay, if you have a second job and you've been working that job for 2 years, even if it's 5 hours, 10 hours a week, if we can determine that money is coming in on a regular basis, then we can use that income. So don't sell yourself short. Some people do have second jobs, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. Make sure you put that information in. Sometimes that money even can be used even though you may not have worked there for 2 years. And that generally has to do is if you're contracted out for X amount of hours. So if you're contracted out for 10 hours a week and you've got a letter that says you're guaranteed for 10 hours a week, then you can use those funds normally. Okay, other things that's interested is unemployment. You can actually use unemployment income to qualify if it's normal. So a good example is I have some clients right now that are firefighters, forest firefighters. So they work from April to October, and then from November to March, they're on unemployed. But if they do that 2 years in a row, and that's a normal part of their occurrence, and they can depend on that money, then they can use that unemployment income to help qualify. Okay, other things that you might need too is if you have rental properties, you might need a lease agreement. And as I said, you might need as far as your property tax information and also insurance agent's name and phone number, so we can determine if we need to get documentation from them. Okay, now let's cover over to the assets. Assets which are really also very important. And those things really do need to be identified in there and get the exact information. So here I have the 2 most recent months' bank statements, all pages, and that means including the blank ones. Something that you do want to make sure that you do is look at the bank statements before you bring them. First of all, if the bank statement only has $5 or $10 in there, we really don't want to see that because realistically that's not enough money to close. Also, if those bank statements show large deposits on them, so let's say, for example, you're making $5,000 a month, and there's a deposit in there of a cash deposit or a check deposit of $5,000, and it's not a normal bank deposit, then we're going to want to know and document where that money came from. All right, next, IRA 401k annuities usually come into a quarterly statement, okay? Sometimes they're monthly, but most of the time they're quarterly statement. So you just provide the last quarter of that information. Now, some people do get gift letters, so there's different requirements for that. Now, a gift letter can be given to you from the actual loan officer for you to fill out, and also have your family member fill that out for you as far as the information they have. Now, the gift letter, how you document a gift letter is different based off of different times. If it does it before you put your application in there, so let's say your father sends you $10,000 and you put that into your bank account prior to you going and filling out an application with the loan officer, then all you need is the gift letter and the documentation showing that that money is in your account. If it's during the process of the loan, so let's say you put in the application and now you fill out the gift letter and the money then comes into your account, that's a little bit trickier. So in that case, what you do is you need to show the funds coming from their account and then going into your account. And that includes if they do a wire transfer, that's the easiest way to do it. If they do a check, then you need to make a picture of the check and show it after it's been into your account and include that gift letter too. And if you're doing it at closing and they're going to wire the money directly to the escrow agent, then what will happen is then they'll just get the gift letter and they'll show that they have the funds and they'll just wire it straight into it, and then we'll see it at closing. Now let's say, so for example, you have sales of assets. Let's say a car you're selling. Well, in that case, what we would do is we'd get the agreement to sell. So you'd have the bill of sale, a copy of the check, and also the deposit into the account. If you had Bitcoin, for example, we would get the statement as far as how much Bitcoin you have and also what it's worth then, and we'd calculate it out at closing to figure that out. And then we would get the documentation showing you're transferring that money from the Bitcoin into your regular account. Finally, things that you also want to be ready for, A couple other things is bankruptcy paperwork. If you've had a bankruptcy or a foreclosure, we're going to need to document that information. Also, if you have child support coming in, and we're going to want to definitely see that to prove your income. Or if you're divorced, we would definitely want to see a copy of the divorce decree. And by that, I mean the actual signed off divorce decree from the judge. Well, there you go. That's not everything, but that will get you in the door, and that should give your lender a really good opportunity to get you a qualified approval. Thank you guys for coming to my channel today. I appreciate you, and hopefully you subscribe and keep watching my channel. And please, I look for your comments, and we'll see you again soon. Bye now.